Hello, Professor here. Thank you guys for tuning in. And in this video, you guys are going to see the first part of Wayne and I being down at Seminole Hard Rock, Florida. Now, a couple of things. You guys did see in the very beginning of the video, I added some B-roll footage. Let me know what you guys think. I know it's, I don't know, some people really like it, some people don't. I don't know, I'm just trying it out because it's been a while since I put out any kind of cash video or tournament video. So I wanted to show you guys that maybe if I'm not doing as many videos like once a week, maybe I can put a little bit more time and effort into like production value. Let me know if you guys like it or if you're like, Professor, it's a waste of time. Also, we've got our meetup game coming up September 16th. We're going to be at the King's Hall in Lombard, which is a suburb of Chicago. And we're going to be playing 2-5 round by round PLO 4 and PLO 5 high-low. Don't forget, you can call ahead to get your name added to the pre-made list or text. And I've got the phone number down below for you to text to be on the pre-made list. So that's going to be Saturday, September 16th at the King's Hall in Lombard. And then Sunday, September 17th, that is going to be at Downers Grove, at the American Legion at Downers Grove. And Chicago Charity Group, one day they open up at noon and the other day they open up at 1, or it's 1 and 2. But we're going to be both there from open to close for our meetup games. So definitely come check it out. I'd love to have you guys out there. Plus, I'm doing a special $100 bounty on yours truly on my first buy-in. So when I buy in for $1,000, the first person who felts me is going to get a bonus $100. So I don't know, maybe mix it up a little bit. So, but hopefully we'll see you in Chicago in mid-September. If you're interested in online poker, we're part of a club that does a chip storm where it drops $500 from the sky every Monday from 8 to 10 p.m. It's also when we do our meetup games online as well. We have PLO 4, Big O, PLO 6, and we have lots of heads-up tables. So if you're interested in online play, definitely click the information below. Now, getting back to this video here, it is really interesting because with tournaments, you have really big swings. If you watched the recent Johnny Vibes video, he talked about how he's quitting tournament poker because the variance is higher than cash game. Cash game has less of a variance. And you will see some people go 0 for 10, 0 for 20. Even some of the greatest people like Daniel Negreanu go on $1 million downswing in tournaments. So there is more variance to it. So it's harder to make a video out of it because who really wants to see a video when it's like, I fired 3 bullets and nothing. Sometimes you have videos like that. So there's a little bit of cash in here. There's also a little bit of tournaments in here. If you haven't checked out my chalkboard series, if you're interested in any type of the mixed games, I'm coming out with those. And then if you want to see Life of a Grinder series, I actually have a playlist. One of the viewers suggested I create playlists for like the chalkboard series and a playlist for Life of a Grinder series. Thank you so much who suggested that. I finally figured out how to do that. But yes, definitely check those out if you haven't already. So as always, everybody, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Hit the like and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notifications. Feel free to share the video. Play smart and run like a god. What do you think of this hotel?
Pretty badass, man, yeah.
That's pretty cool. And when you're driving by it, it looks like the whole hotel moves, but it doesn't. But the lights make it look like you're moved. And if you're really stoned, it really moves. So, hand review, again, we can't record anything in there. So I'm sitting 1600 effective. We're on a $25 bomb pot, single board bomb pot, not double board. And the flop comes 10-9 deuce with a flush draw out there. And I look down at 10-9-9 4. And so there's 7-way action, 175 in the pot. I decided to go ahead and bet 125, doing a little bit of a value bet. I don't mind getting called here. I don't mind everybody folding. I don't want somebody to raise. Well, the guy directly to my left, hashtag Simon and Sons. The guy directly to my left makes it 500. Everybody else folds, obviously with middle set and blocking a set of 10s. I'm not going anywhere. So I call expecting that my opponent's on a wrap draw, like 8 jack queen. So I'm thinking, I really don't like too many turns. If a 6 comes, I'm going to bomb it and say, what the hell, let's go. Because after he makes it 500 on the flop, we have 1,200 in the pot, and now we're sitting with about 1,000 effective. And well, the turn comes the 3 of clubs. So pretty blank card. I go ahead and jam all in for a little over 1,065. And he ends up calling. And yeah, he turns over 10 Jack, Queen, King. And we fade everything. Well, backdoor clubs does come in, but the river comes with 4 clubs. So we end up winning about a $3,200 pot. And yeah, so the action down here is pretty good. There's some really tight players, and you try not giving them much action, and then there's some players that are giving you action, and those are the ones that you give action to, and then they'll give a lot of action back to you. So far in for 1,400 today, out for 3,065. So decent profit. Get called the 5 card PLO. We have a couple of hands where we just pick up a few small pots. We're in for 1,000. Getting my feet wet. Big hand that I get involved in, I've got King, Deuce, 4, 5. There's a raise, 5-way action. So there's like $250 in the pot. Flop comes King Dye 7 with 2 hearts. Very first player just opens for 220. So far what I've seen, this table's got pretty significant action. I was initially gonna call like 150, where I was gonna bet about half pot to induce maybe a check raise, but this guy just opens 225, so I'm like, all right, I'll make it 800. Next guy goes all in for like 700 or 600. Next guy jams all in for 3,000 effective. Original better folds. Gets back to me, of course, I throw it in there for 1240. Table guy just says I'm a one type guy. I'm like, okay. Turd is 3 of hearts. Literally the turn just makes my heart sink, because I know against 2 opponents I'm no good. I know the guy who initially opened probably has a set of 9s. My other 2 opponents either have wrap and flush draws or wrap draws. I did see this guy who made it 3,000 get it all in for 3,000 with a wrap draw while spades were out there. So I know the heart might not be killing me against him, but we get bailed out of the river. With the river comes a king. So we end up with quads. Basically played one hand and up 2 grand. So let's see if we can keep spinning it up. So far we're in for 2 bullets on the Big O tournament. I am going to fire a 3rd one. We're on level 6. Last hand I have is King, 10, 3, 4 with 2 clubs. We're double suited with clubs and hearts. And the flop comes Ace, Jack, 7 with 2 clubs. It checks to me, the blind levels were 300, 500, and I was the raiser. How about the butt? I made a 1,500 pre, so it checks to me. I bet 3,500. We have the nut flush draw, we have a gut shot, and we have a 34 low draw. Really tight player, check raises, which basically means I think he's got aces, maybe aces with a low. Earlier on, he did not re-raise with the aces pre, so I'm thinking any queen, any club is good. Any low could be good, so I call, and the turn brings out the 6 of clubs. So we have the nut clubs with a 34 low, so we have 3rd nut low, nut high. We get it all in, and he turns over ace, jack, deuce, 3. So he's free rolling me to 2 aces and 2 jacks. I'm free rolling him to 3 deuces. So I don't mind getting it in. Again, taking chances early before end of registration. Plus, I think I had like, I don't know, 22,000 to start the hand, so I need to start running it up. River's an ace, GG. Yeah, he's free rolling me, and I'm free rolling him. But those are the kind of chances that you want to take. And part of this is why tournament variance just sucks. You just plan for max bullets, 3 bullets. I planned on 3 bullets, going for bullet number 3. Let's see how we do. As you guys know, one of the things I preach is you want to be at 3x starting stack, which is usually going to put you somewhere around 50 bigs or more going into end of registration. So we have 69,000. Blinds are 600, 1,200, so we are at 3x starting stack, actually 3.5x starting stack. The big hand that I had after I bought back in for the 3rd bullet was ace, 5, 7, king with the suited ace of diamonds. So ace, king, 5, 7. Blinds are 400, 800. There's a limp. I'm in the low jack. We're 8-handed. I pot it for 3,600, and 3 people call. So we go 4 ways to the flop, and the flop is 8, 6, 3 with 2 diamonds. First player just opened pots. Next player rips it. I rip it. Next player folds. Up against a set of 8s and straight draw. Turn comes a deuce. River comes a 4. we end up with ace 5 for the wheel for the nut low, and then we end up with 5-7 for the high for the nut high. So we get a little fortune ran back in our favor since the guy had ace 4. So he was basically free rolling for us to miss diamonds or a straight draw or a 4. So yeah, we get there. So let's see what we can do here. So we're on our third break. It's level 12. There's 25 people left. I'm sitting with 3.5 big. Need to go on some kind of miracle sun run here, considering I'm under the gun. And 2 of my bigs are going to get eaten up here pretty quick. So pretty much all in when I get back from the break. But I guess the hand of the tournament, I had ace, ace, king, deuce, 4 with a suited ace in the hard variety and a king high diamond. And somebody opens to 10 or pots it for like 8, gets back to me. I repot it for 30 under the gun. She's all in for 22, 23, and then one other person calls. I've only got 26,000 behind, so there's going to be like 75, 80,000 in the pot. Really don't have, I look at my hand and think there's really no flops that I can fold with. And the flop comes 8 of diamonds, jack of diamonds, queen of diamonds. I do have the king of diamonds, but I bet 7,000 trying to, I don't know, milk a low diamond out there because I put my opponent on all low cards. And he jams all in, and I show king high flush with ace, ace, deuce, 4, and I muck it. Now I will admit that this is something that I never thought in my life I would ever have to factor in as a poker player or a tournament player. But the player who ended up jamming all in against me was one of my subscribers and recognized me right away. And the only reason why he jammed against me is just so he could tell people that he outplayed the professor. It was something I never factored into any of my tournament player decisions. And I hate to say this, but it's a good learning experience on my part, because from here on out, it will honestly be a factor, maybe a small factor, but a factor. But I ended up playing this hand as worst as you could possibly play it. Literally probably the worst hand I played in tournaments in the last 5 to 10 years easily. And he literally just had the dry ace in a dead pot. So kudos to him, he wins. I should have been in that pot, I suppose. I suppose I should just jam there. But that's basically the difference in the whole tournament. Should be sitting with about 100K. Instead, I've got like 3 bigs. So, yeah. Chip in a chair, 3 bigs, 6 spots for the money. You could give a fuck about getting min cash. But just a little perturbed. Really shocked that the guy jams on a dead pot with a dry ace. Like, let me know what you guys think. This next clip I am leaving completely unedited because it's quite funny and hilarious, especially if you know what the end results were of this trip. So, life of a grinder. It is Friday. What fucking day is it? Is it July 28th? July 28th. We are at Seminole Hard Rock. I am 0 for 10 in the last 10 bullets for tournaments. That's pretty frustrating. You know, tournament life, you have the highest highs and the lowest lows. When you win a tournament, when you bank a tournament, you feel amazing. Multi-day tournaments are, you know, one thing that you have to wrestle with. But I will tell you, the value of these tournaments here, where they're $500, $600 tournaments or $400, $600 tournaments, and they end up being like one-day tournaments, you can actually bank like $10, $15, even $20,000 on a single-day tournament. So there's not too many times where you could buy into like a 5-5 or a 2-2 for $500, $600 and run it up to like 15,000. So because of that, we are going for the home run instead of the base hit. We are double downing on all of our winnings so far. I think we're up like 800 for the trip. And yeah. Yeah. It's tiring. I am allowing myself to be talked into playing this 8-game mix. Wayne got second in the tournament, or ended up chopping second, or partial chopping second in the tournament. And so yeah, I mean, at the race, he's beating me. He's up like $4,000. I'm up like $800 for the trip, or $2,000. I can't remember. It's been a while. Maybe I'm up 800. I think I'm up 800 for the trip. He's up $4,000, so we're having a race. We're gonna see if I can finish ahead of him, either via tournaments or cash games. Hopefully, we'll be able to do it with tournaments today. So, yeah. Play smart, everybody. Run like a god.